Hey everybody, it's Jorik. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for continuing to support it. If you're new, I talk about Portugal, moving to and living here, as well as I throw in a bunch of daily travel shorts. This video is regarding traveling in Europe this coming summer, and it's geared towards people that have never traveled to Europe or people that maybe haven't traveled to Europe in the last few years. Something that I want to make sure that all of you are aware of. It is normal and customary during the high tourist season, so let's say May, June, July, and August, that many countries in Europe will have strikes. So, in the public transportation sector specifically, train strikes, airport strikes, certain airlines striking, that seems to be something that if you've come to Europe in the past, you're used to. It's a nuisance, but you can work around it. Buses generally are not on strike, so that's a good workaround. Or if you get a rental car and you're driving around, you don't have to worry about it. But many people, you're getting over to Europe via an airplane. Sometimes you're flying within Europe to different destinations. The train is a more economical way to see much of the country as opposed to getting a rental car, which is more pricey. But I wanted to make sure that those of you that haven't come for a while or are not used to strikes and dealing with maybe some delays or cancellations, that those of you looking to come in the summer of 2023, I think that there's going to be more strikes in more countries than usual, and I'll explain why I say that. Starting with the summer of 2022, there were strikes, which were normal in the UK, France, Portugal, Italy, for mostly public transportation, as well as other sectors of the countries. But those strikes didn't stop once the summer stopped. In the fall, the winter, it's the spring of 2023 as I'm making this video, many countries are still dealing with different sectors within their workforce going on strike, and there have been some public transportation strikes that have been ongoing or intermittent. For instance, in the UK since last summer, France starting last summer and fall, still ongoing. In Portugal, it's been more intermittent here with train strikes, but since last summer, it's been more consistent that trains have been striking more throughout the year as opposed to just targeting that summertime. The reason I think that they go for the summer is it's a high tourist season. It's the most amount of people that would be using public transportation throughout Europe. So it's the most amount of probably complaints and angst that tourists as well as locals have to get around. And that makes its way to the government, which might give the workers a little more leverage when they're coming to the negotiating table to try to work on better deals, better working conditions, better wages. That's my guess as to why the summertime has been the time to strike. But now we've lived it here in Portugal, but friends that live in Spain, live in France, live in the UK have been dealing with different forms of public transportation strikes ongoing since last summer, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop. So those of you looking to come here this summer on a trip, I would recommend maybe investigating travel insurance just to help hedge your bet a little bit if there's going to be a cancellation, a delay or something, whether it be your accommodation because your flight got canceled or moved around, or the train wasn't working and you had to get bus tickets, or you had to find another way to get to your destination. It's worth looking at that as an option, because it just doesn't seem, in reading many of the European papers, the strikes are continuing month to month, and it doesn't look like they're going to resolve anything anytime soon. So I'm making this video for those of you that are coming here to make sure that you're managing your expectations and understand that if you're used to coming to Europe, yep, I get it, there's strikes here and there. But if you haven't or haven't recently and you forget about it, know that several countries throughout the European Union have had strikes, as well as I will throw in the UK. Now with Brexit, they've had a lot of strikes happening up there in all areas of public transportation. So as you're coming to travel and you want to have a fun time on your holiday or your vacation, one of the dampers or a monkey wrench can be thrown in with delays and cancellations due to strikes. Just want to make sure that you're aware that they're continuing to happen now through the spring, and there's no sign that they're going to stop, or there's no country or a sector within a country that, hey, we've got this figured out, we're good for a couple of years, we're not going to strike. It seems like Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, the UK, and there's other countries as well where this is an issue, and this also happens to be an area where many people that aren't from Europe travel to as holiday and vacation destinations. So I just want to make sure that you realize they're ongoing. Check local newspapers. If you're going to a certain country or several countries, go to the main newspapers. They can all be translated into your native language, and you can find out what's the latest and greatest going on, so you don't fly into an airport and then realize there's a train strike. That means that you can't get to a destination that you were going to. Try to do as much research ahead of time. You haven't had to do this in prior years, but now I think this is just part of your diligence to be a traveler on any vacation around the world, is understanding the current events of what's going on with any potential work stoppage that could throw some shade onto what would otherwise be a fantastic vacation or holiday. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Please support the channel with subscribing or giving a super thanks, and have a great day.